Cosatu's executive were picketing outside the union buildings in Pretoria. They're not happy about government not responding to their demands. Govan Whittles was following this story for us. He joins us live. So Govan, give us more info on why Cosatu is there.
It's the public sector wage agreement that's the main reason for the picket, Shahan, and the government's failure to respond to a Cosatu memorandum handed to them on the 7th of October, calling on the Department of Public Administration to implement the wage agreement. So you know, in the Labour Appeals Court this week, there was a hearing where the unions representing workers who are government employees went to the court to apply to try and force the government to implement the agreement. That application was contested by the National Treasury and the Department of Public Service and Administration, who argued that the agreement itself was illegal, and this issue has essentially created a standoff between Cosatu and the president. And Cosatu believes that the president is now trying to distance himself from this public sector wage agreement and leaving it to his ministers to solve, and they won't allow that. That's why they were outside the union buildings. And let's have a look at what their general secretary had to say about that picket and their reason for being there.
In our view, after a lengthy debate and discussion, we saw a new culture creeping in government, that people can protest, people can put their demands, and you got just officials not responding at all. And we know that when things of that nature happen, the society become violent. Workers will become violent when they marches because they get a sense that they are being ignored. So that's the main purpose here. We wanted to talk to government and be able to put these matters on rest, that every time, not only us, but the society as a whole, when the memorandum, they must be acknowledged, they must be responded. The response might be different, but the culture of not responding, I think we're going to bury today here and get an understanding.
And did they get any joy and actually meet President Cyril Ramaphosa?
No, they didn't. They eventually met with the minister in the presidency. The president had indicated that he wouldn't be available, but very frustrated, the Cosatu leadership came out of the union buildings and said that they've now demanded to meet with the president within 5 days. So they seem to still have a number of serious issues to raise and couldn't find any agreement with the minister in the presidency. But we wait to hear if the president will honor that demand and meet with them within 5 days.
Yeah, and Cosatu being part of the tripartite alliance, what's at stake here, Govan?
A number of issues at stake for Cosatu. First of them would be Cosatu needs to ensure that it maintains its position as the leading workers' federation in the country. And the unresolved public sector wage agreement now has created an opportunity for the Public Servants Association, not affiliated to any political party, and SAFTU, led by former Cosatu General Secretary Zwelinzima Vavi, to take the lead on this issue and potentially stage a strike. If those two unions and the one federation had to do that, Cosatu wouldn't join them on the streets because it's still in negotiations with its alliance partner, and then it risks letting the issue get ahead of it. The other more important issue here is Cosatu's alliance with the ANC. We know that there are a number of important events coming up. The first would be the January 8th statement of the ANC, and this is traditionally used as a way to launch the election campaign in an election year. And then it would be the May Day rally of Cosatu before the elections. And both of those events might happen with workers being extremely angry at the president, and they could risk booing the president once again, as they did with former President Jacob Zuma at May Day in 2019.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Govan Whittles, thanks for that.